Friend! Oh, new friend! Oh, friend! Please be my friend! Oh, friend!
Hello and welcome once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. As usual, I am your host Luke and you are the Cheap Shot Nation. And we're going to take you through everything that happened in NXT UK this week. It aired on the 6th of February 2019. It is officially the 29th episode of NXT UK. It took place in the Empress Ballroom in Blackpool, probably filmed after TakeOver, and yeah, it was a really good show. So a couple of weeks, about a month removed from NXT TakeOver UK Blackpool. Brilliant show. This was a really good show. We get to see more of Walter, we get to see more of Mark Coffey, come in second place really to his brother Joe Coffey, who's had all the spotlight in Gallus really since joining forces with Wolfgang. And yeah, he put on a good showing against Walter, and that's the main event in this show. So in the meantime, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, join us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And now I know I have to upload everything via mobile on Instagram. You'll be seeing a lot more of Instagram. Anyway, let's get on with the show. And so your first match of this show features Mark Andrews versus Leggero. Two face characters facing off against each other makes for an interesting dynamic, very similar in styles with regard to the high flying that they both do. Mark Andrews, as it is said on commentary, has the experience edge over El Leggero, but Leggero has probably wrestled more matches. It's well documented in British wrestling that Leggero wrestled over 400-500 matches in a year. That's pretty incredible, considering there's only 365 days in a year. I will check that fact. I don't think it might be that many. Maybe I'm being over exaggerating, but when commentary teams can get away with saying, oh my god, he's killed him, JR, then I can get away with being exaggerating that number as well. So the match starts with some very technical maneuvers, very grounded, very mat-based wrestling from both guys, considering, like I say, they're both high flyers. That is quite interesting, but we're going to start it off pretty slow. This leads to multiple pin attempts as they roll around the ring. The referee's hand must have been aching by that point. There was lots of high flying attempts. They countered as well until countered by both guys until Leggero manages to get the cannonball sent on from the barricade to the floor on Mark Andrews. The momentum swings and slows down. He slows down the pace deliberately. I've seen Leggero work at a slow pace in his matches in Hope Wrestling. He was heel. He worked deliberately slow. He very much didn't do any high flying really. It was quite interesting to see that part of El Leggero's arsenal. There's a roll through by Andrews which leads to a double stomp to the gut, double coup de grace if you like, from the floor, and a corkscrew splash and a kick out from El Leggero from the near fall. There's kicks coming out from both guys, both like the striking game, both known for their kicks, both known for their high flying. They try to gain the advantage. Leggero tries to suplex Andrews, and this is countered into a stun dog millionaire. Andrews flies back into the ring. We see Leggero, who catches Andrews coming in and regains the momentum with a pump handle drop. There's a top rope Hurricane Runner from Leggero. That is an attempt. It is countered by doing the Will Ospreay moment where he does the runner and Andrews lands on his feet. Seen that at least 3 times since that happened in New Japan Wrestling. The match finishes as Leggero hits the knees to stop Andrews going for the 450 splash, and Leggero hits the C4L, which is the springboard bulldog. Springboard DDT rather, not springboard bulldog, springboard DDT, and Mark Andrews cannot answer the count, and Leggero wins. And Leggero is your winner, like I say, in a great opening contest for episode 29 of NXT UK. We next get an interview with Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch interrupts Oney Lorcan as he's being asked about going for the tag team champions. They cut a promo. Danny Burch tells Oney Lorcan that they've been granted a tag team title shot for the UK titles against the grizzled young veterans at Worlds Collide, the tournament, something which I still haven't watched yet, so probably won't be doing a review on it, but I will get around to watching it at some point. Match, like I say, match for the tag team championships, the UK tag team championships. Obviously they're very happy about this. We next cut to Pete Dunne, who cuts a promo on Walter, says he's very interesting, and I've got to admit, that was very impressive. Sorry, that's my Birmingham accent, that's where I'm going for it. That's your two promos in between two matches, and we get storylines furthered onto the next show. Your next match for the evening features Candy Floss, and she is going against Xia Brookside. Xia Brookside has had plenty of matches, got introduced to her in the Mae Young Classic in 2018, didn't do very well there. She's not been doing very well on NXT UK, to be fair, because she's gone against quite top talent, really. So this is her cue to try and gain some momentum back. She's always been impressive, but she's not actually picked up a win in NXT UK so far. Neither has Candy Floss, so there's a lot riding on this match. Again, similar styles in the ring, two face characters. Candy Floss in control early, gets the full Nelson on the much smaller in stature Xia Brookside. And this is countered into an armbar by Xia Brookside. Candy then tries to flip Xia out of the move, but Xia keeps the lock on for an extended amount of time. So you're working on the arms here. Candy Floss gets a little more serious at this point, getting frustrated about the armbar that Xia Brookside has locked in, and she gets frustrated and concentrates her efforts on the elbow of Xia Brookside, the taped elbow of Xia Brookside. There's a Brooksy bomb from the top rope Xia Brookside traps Candy Floss's legs into a pin, and she gets the win. Hashtag pin for the win. Xia Brookside picks up her first win in NXT UK in quite impressive fashion. A bit impressed with Candy Floss as well. Only 18 years old, definitely a star for the future, but your winner in this match is Xia Brookside. So after the match we get a handshake between the two face characters. Xia Brookside gives a handshake to Candy Floss, and Candy Floss returns the favour. We then get an attack from the former NXT UK Women's Champion Rhea Ripley. She attacks both women. The Mosh Pit Kid is taking apart Xia Brookside and Candy Floss. Toni Storm comes down for the save and inadvertently hits Xia Brookside with her running boot. A headbutt. Sorry, patented headbutt, it wasn't a running boot. And Rhea Ripley takes advantage, sends a message to Toni Storm by hitting the Riptide on Toni Storm, leaving her in the middle of the ring and celebrating with the title as she puts her foot on Toni Storm's chest. So we next get a promo cut by Jordan Devlin, the Irish ace, and he says that he is going to the tournament, the Worlds Collide tournament, and he's going to represent the NXT UK brand. Feel like these promos are a little bit late, seeing as how the Worlds Collide tournament was aired last Saturday, but yeah, it says he's going to represent, and he's the best person to represent NXT UK, and he's going to smash some heads, because you never bet against the ace, Jordan Devlin. So next we get another match in a match heavy episode of NXT UK, and we get Wild Boar Mike Hickman versus Joseph Connors from Nottingham nonetheless. Connors trained with sticks in House of Pain Wrestling. Connors starts working over the Boar, but Boar comes back with animal-like offense. Difficult to predict what Mike Hickman is going to do, because his style is so different. He can fly, he can do heavy moves, and he's quite, I'd say he's quite wild, quite animalistic in the way he approaches matches. Not having his own way, Connors, in this match at all, thinking that Wild Boar is going to be an easy ride, but Mike Hickman did get his first win a couple of weeks ago on NXT UK. Connors whiplashes Wild Boar over the top rope to gain back some momentum and takes advantage on the outside to gain the advantage. Not letting up on Wild Boar now, and Connors just talks trash to Wild Boar. This kicks Wild Boar into action. Boar ducks a charge by Connors in the corner and hits an inverted senton on the ropes, followed by a splash to the outside, and over the top splash to Connors on the outside by Wild Boar. Connors gets out of the way of the next charge by Wild Boar. This is in the ring, and hits a DDT to Wild Boar. Pop-up powerbomb by Wild Boar. This match is so back and forth, it's unbelievable. It is really good, and Wild Boar on top. Connors hits a sunset bomb and the don't look down for the win, to dispose of the Wild Boar, Mike Hickman. But as I've already said, I am really impressed with the Wild Boar, and he is really, really good. And you know, in different, he's always had a good showing against the wrestlers that have beaten him in NXT UK, which then makes him one of my favourites, because I really want him to win. I really like his style. It was interesting in the ring with Primate, because they both had like animalistic offense, which was really, really cool. But your winner in this match is Joseph Connors. Right, okay, let's do this one. And in a match heavy NXT UK showing this week, we have another match, which is Ashton Smith, whoop whoop, versus Joe Coffey, looking to avenge his loss to the UK champion Pete Dunne, and is beating at the hands of Walter afterwards, basically, and that's how he got his black eye. You can see his black eye in full force on this one. Smith gets the start, gets the jump on Joe Coffey nice and early, trying to get the win, in control of the head, taking down the power game of Joe Coffey. Smith gets pounced out of the ring. This is one of the best pouncers I have seen since Marcus Corvon was going down, 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 liquid smooth into the Serengeti. This was really cool. So Smith gets chucked outside of the ring by the pounce, and then he's sent into the barrier by a charging Joe Coffey with a head spear, is the only way I can describe it, a flying headbutt. There's a knee to the back, wearing down Smith, taking out his power game and his height advantage. It gets a half straight jacket onto Smith, transitions into the Cobra Clutch. Lots of resting holds here, trying to wear down Ashton Smith. And drives Smith straight into the buckle. There's a focus on the lower back of Ashton Smith, reminding NXT UK that is his kingdom and Gallus's kingdom, and it's still his kingdom. There's a bear hug into a belly-to-belly suplex, and with some help from the ropes, there's a pop-up Euro uppercut. After multiple strikes in the corner, there's another pop-up powerbomb attempt. Pop-up European uppercut attempt by Joe Coffey, which is countered by Ashton Smith with knees to the face. This is where Joe Coffey gets a bit angry, hits the best of the bells, and pins Smith to the mat. Smith is caught in a German suplex as well at one point as he tries to charge Joe Coffey, but Coffey wins. It took a lot of damage in that match. Smith at one point realised that the eye was the weak point of Joe Coffey and tried to go focus his attack on the eye. So yeah, it was a really good match between two. I would say top tier, and certainly Joe Coffey's top tier, and Ashton Smith is on the cusp of being top tier in NXT UK. But he still needs to get a little bit more momentum. He has been going against much more experienced opponents in NXT UK, but he will find his feet, no doubt, very, very soon. Joe Coffey in this match is the winner, but a really good showing from Ashton Smith. And this leads us on to your main event of the evening. It is Walter versus Mark Coffey, and like I said at the beginning of the video, Mark Coffey hasn't had as much airtime really as Joe Coffey, so it was good to see Mark Coffey in a match on his own, in a singles match without his tag team partner Wolfgang, or without his brother coming down to help him. So yeah, Mark Coffey does a really good job of taking down Walter. Walter had a bit of an easy one last week against Jack Stars. Didn't have such an easy showing against Mark Coffey. Mark Coffey is a lot more experienced, and he's also a lot more powerful than Jack Stars. Coffey definitely not backing down on this one. Walter is 7 foot tall, and he's just wow. Walter absorbs everything that Mark Coffey can throw at him in this match. But everything that Walter tries, Mark Coffey has an answer. Walter eases at one point, into a deadlift German suplex with the over 300 pounder over his head into a German suplex. Just brutal. Overhand chops, brutal, on the ropes. You can hear it echo throughout the Empress ballrooms. Walter steps on Coffey's face as he gets angry. He's lay across the ropes, he's in a supine position. Walter steps on his face across the ropes. Obviously he's got a 5 count to break that. Coffey comes back again even after this and breaks free of the sleeper hold that Walter is trying to put on to Mark Coffey, and hits an enziguri. There's a drop kick by Walter, and this is where Walter hits a jackknife powerbomb for the win. Pin for the win. Hashtag pin for the win. Hashtag pin for the win. Walter again very impressive in his second match in NXT UK. 2 wins in a row, definitely gaining momentum, definitely on the radar of Pete Dunne. I would say that Walter is due for a title shot sooner rather than later. Depends whether we're going to get another NXT UK takeover before that happens, or whether it's going to be on a show. They've been quite good at putting NXT UK Championship matches on the shows, but now we're getting NXT UK takeovers. That may just change. But your winner is Walter. Mark Coffey has a very good showing in the absence of his brother. Trying to avenge the attack from Walter on his brother. Doesn't quite get the job done, but very impressive in trying. And so that is everything that happened in NXT UK this week, aired on the 6th of February 2019. And it was another fantastic show. Nearly 30 episodes down in NXT UK. The UK wrestling scene has definitely hit its resurgence. And speaking of wrestling resurgence, that is where I will be heading on the 3rd of March after going out for the Stag Do reunion, for my mates' Stag Do reunion the night before. So I may be a little bit worse for wear, but I will be there. If you're going to Wrestling Resurgence on that day, say hello to us. We'll be sat on the front row. I'll be writing my notes to do a review of said show, and yeah, it's going to be really fun. Something slightly different. It's in the Nottingham Contemporary, a wrestling show in an art gallery. It's like Christmas has come all over again for me. And yeah, you know, it's no secret that I'm a bit of an artist. You know, you see all the graphics and things. So wrestling in an art gallery, wow, just wow. Anyway, if you like the video, click the subscribe button. Hit a Walter-sized dropkick on that notification bell. Hit us up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Let us know which wrestling shows you're going to this week. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That is all of my begging and pleading done. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.